of the, that is, at one time we were communicating with the right hand side of the brain, now we are communicating with the left hand side of the brain. In future we will communicate with the prefrontal side of the brain, where the image is far more important than sound. And images, particularly images in cyberspace, allow us to bring time and space together. They allow us to make many times collapse together, many spaces collapse together, and therefore one can think at the same time, one can think of a valid statement which is valid at the same time for Jupiter as well as the Earth, which is valid at the same time for now as well as the moment when the Big Bang happened. In that future communication, we will be able to say that we are here today, but the Big Bang is also here today. Because this 1400 crore years I mentioned, frightening distance, will no longer mean anything in future. However, in that future world, there will only be silence. There will be no voice. There will be no voice. There will be no language as we know. There will be no songs of Gurudev with us. There will be a frightening, the last thing that he said, when I go into that speechless world, let me carry with me some touch of you. It's going to be a speechless, languageless world in future. Now, just one more point, and then probably what I'm trying to say might become a little clearer to you. We are presented with ideas of development, of prosperity, of growth. Many agencies, international, national, nation state, and others have worked on these ideas. One of the ideas is that the ability to consume energy, ability of an individual to consume energy is the limit of development. And this idea came from a Russian astronaut in the 70s. An American mathematician worked on this and figured, his name was Dyson. He figured out what would be the ultimate level of energy use on the Earth, on our Earth. And he imagined that there is a possibility of creating a shell-like structure surrounding the Earth to trap all the solar energy that comes in and to put it to use for the betterment of individual's life. Scientists have been looking for such other stars and planets elsewhere, and last year in October, some observers in one of the laboratories spotted a star called KCI 651267. They've given a number to that star, and they claim that a Dyson-like shell, Dyson structure, Dyson shell is constructed there. Now, to give you an idea of supposing such a shell was to be created here, how much energy shall we? Today we have this, this much light, the air conditioner. We are using maybe 1 unit per head for now. But that time it will be several trillion times higher. And people have started setting that as the limit for development. Now at that time you will be able to travel from here to Mars in a split second and come back. You will be able to colonize the rest of the cosmos. You will be able to lift things or shake things or destroy things or suppress them. You will be able to send huge quantities of information through small chips planted when no universities, no colleges would be necessary at all. This is going to happen. However, leading you to that kind of world are the governments all over the world that demand you to accept silence in the interest of an idea of growth and development. And as a token, as a very nascent as a sign of a very nascent beginning of that future, democracies all over the world have started becoming dictatorial. You no longer have opposition parties in the United States, they're all alive. All British political parties are alive. In France, Germany is the same story. It is the Talibanizing of the mind all over the world. Despite cultural histories, this is happening in our own country. In the name of that kind of development, in the name of that kind of future, in the name of that kind of freedom from want, freedom from labor, people are being asked to remain silent. And if you make any noise, that is seen as treachery, as being anti-development, as being anti-humanity, and everything that word humanity subsumes, such as culture, nation, whatever. Now, the future presents to us a strange paradox. You want humans to be free of want and poverty, and you want prosperity, and you want immensity in everything. But at the same time, you are saddled with silence, speechlessness, mindlessness. Mind is possible because language is there. The idea of mind will disappear the moment language disappears and some other entity will be conceptualized. I will close now. I think if we have to secure our futures, we must not forget to remain human. And to remain human, we should never forget that silence in complicity is a far worse sin than speech in protest. And if we do not learn this from Gurudev Tagore, then we learn nothing from him. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Devy, for that fascinating and thought-provoking speech. I would now request the Honorable Vice Chancellor to present the memento to Professor Devy. Thank you, sir. I would now request the Honorable Vice Chancellor to deliver his presidential address.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's really very difficult to narrate my feelings about the captivating discourse by Professor G.N. Devy, Chair, People's Linguistic Survey of India and Bhasha Research and Publication Center. The speech titled Silence and Freedom, the paradox of the future, has shown us how he has delved deep into the irony of aphasia. that is looming large over our psyche, our society, and finally, as an imminent crisis overshadowing the entire humanity, where annihilation of language would be in keeping with the dwindling biodiversity also. Today's topic, to my mind, is a befitting tribute to Tagore, who is the epitome of freedom. Tagore's understanding of freedom was a bit different from that of independence. Possibly, it was more akin to interdependence, which we may see in a perfectly balanced ecosystem. This fascinated Tagore all throughout his life. He, on numerous occasions, felt its ubiquitous reflections in his surroundings and within his soul. Today we see in our society a form of independence which is skewed towards indifference, intolerance and impatience. An alienating force that is silencing our expression and is ultimately inhibiting our freedom of speech, our very right to expatiate in a fearless expanse. It is my privilege to offer my profound veneration to Professor Devy, my gratitude to my colleagues and friends on and off the dais. Monon and his team, members in the School of Humanities, which is a new one in our university, deserve a big hand for successfully organizing such a memorable session today.
Thank you, sir. I would now invite Mr. Sridip Mukherjee, Assistant Professor of English, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Before I propose the formal vote of thanks, I would just like to tell you that we have a display of books by Professor Devy, on Professor Devy and allied subjects by Odin Blackswan on the ground floor. You are welcome to have a look at it. And now for the vote of thanks. On behalf of Netaji Subhash Open University, I thank first and foremost Professor G.N. Devy for graciously accepting our invitation and being here with us to deliver the 5th Rabindranath Tagore Memorial Lecture. Sir, I am sure I carry the conviction of the entire audience in saying that your lecture titled Silence and Freedom, the Paradox of the Future, comes at a time when civil societies worldwide, not to talk of our own nation, are debating over the angst of this aphasia. Your lecture vindicates the role of the university as a space for dialectical thought at a juncture when it is indeed a crucial question. Thank you, sir. I congratulate and simultaneously thank the spirited audience who have responded to our call and made it a point to be present here this afternoon. When we were communicating with Professor Devy, we did express the eagerness with which Kolkata awaits this lecture. I know today's audience comprises of scholars and eager enthusiasts, both from within and outside the academic community per se. That you have registered your presence at the call of this open university and made yourselves partakers of the thoughts of one of the leading thinkers of our native ethos gives credence to our lines of thought and the assimilative power of the open mode of learning. I thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor Shubho Shankar Sarkar, who, as always, has been supportive of this effort too. At the cost of repetition, I must say that your positive encouragement always makes the task of such arrangements that much easier. Professor Ashit Baronaich, Registrar Acting of Netaji Subhash Open University, must be thanked for his cordial welcome address, and even before that, for the meticulous manner in which he has guided his office in spreading word about this lecture to all concerned quarters. Dr. Manoj Kumar Mondol, officer in charge of the School of Humanities and a passionate scholar of Indian literature, must be congratulated for his efforts at providing us the opportunity of hearing to Professor Devy at our own university. I thank the finance officer, all heads of departments present, all officers of the university, all members of the faculty and non-teaching staff for the help and cooperation that each one has rendered in making the conduct of this lecture a smooth affair. Our friends, the support staff members, with their cheerful helping attitude, have, as always, made the day for us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sudipta. With this, we come to the end of the lecture, and there is a small refreshment which awaits the audience right outside the seminar venue.